Okay, we are going to produce a new blog post or edit old blog posts in order to increase search engine optimization on the web, visibility on the web, and drive traffic to our website. One of the things that we'll want to do is make our images into clickable links that direct users back to a specific page. If you have a fairly vague image that is more fun and just kind of a hook, then it could just go back to the home page. But if it is something that features specific products, we can drive people to the pages that have to do with those specific products. In this case, we have a mason jar with a metal lid and sealed for your protection liner on a padlock. So what we'll want to do is open up the Blogger editor, and we'll find that specific blog post. Usually you'll see the compose window, and just like you create text links in the post, you can create image links. So select the image, click on the little icon for link. The little alert box pops up. You'll want to have your page in mind already. This one takes us to a metal lids catalog search. And now that image links the user to a specific page at the CPS website. We don't want to stop there though. We want to increase search engine optimization, increase accessibility, which is if a user is using a text-based browser or which doesn't load images, or if they themselves are not able to see, they can have an audible browser that will read out the content on the page. So what we'll want to do is go into the Edit HTML tab as opposed to the Compose tab, Edit HTML, and we can find the image. The image is indicated by an image tag, an IMG tag, surrounded by what are called carets. The link that we created is just before the image tag. So the opening tag for that link is just before the IMG image tag. So what we want to do is add in an attribute called the title attribute, and the title attribute is designed to allow the user to know a little bit more about that image, and it pops up as a hover state. It's kind of a little hover message, and we'll see that here in just a minute. But the title can be for marketing purposes. It can be a great way to include some keywords. So in this particular case, we can say search for metal lids at container and packaging supply. You don't want to put a website address in there because this part of the code doesn't really like characters, special characters like punctuation marks and dots and slashes and things like that. So just you can make it readable because obviously your user is going to read that message, but it doesn't have to be punctuated. You can use upper and lower case and spaces, but don't put any special characters in there at all. Alright, so the title attribute is done. What we can do is preview this, and what you'll see is when the user puts their cursor over the image before they click, the title message comes up. So if they click on it, they can search for metal lids at container and packaging supply. Alright, we're not quite done yet though. We want to go back into the HTML editor, find that image tag, and if you notice, whenever you put an image into the blog, it'll give you all sorts of stuff. It has a style for the image, it gives it a margin, it gives it something to do with the cursor, just to make it more consistent from browser to browser, and the dimensions of the image, and then obviously the image itself, because that's stored on the server somewhere. So one of the things that you also notice is just after the path to the image, there's this alt attribute, and it comes up as it's empty. but we want to fill that out because that's another opportunity to include keywords, and it also makes it accessible to text-based browsers, and like I said before, for somebody who may not be able to see but still wants to search the web. Alright, so the alt tag really should be a description of, or the alt attribute should be a description of that image. In this case, it can be plastisol mason jar. Alright, and so that is finished. So we did two things. We included a title attribute into the link, the text or the image link that describes what they can do when they click on that link. And then the alt attribute on the image describes the image, and it also is another way to include other keywords into the back end, which is searchable by web browsers. Alright, so now we have search for metal lids, and if I clicked on that, it would take us to the website. Let's do it one more time with the support image. So compose, support image, select it, click on the link, have a specific page in mind if you can that has to do with a product that is featured on the image. Click OK. Now we can go to we can preview it. I mean, it won't do much good to preview because we don't want to click out of this window, but it's creating a link from that image. Go back into edit HTML and let's find the section of code that has to do with that image. So usually you can look for the dimensions or that IMG tag. So there's the IMG tag, and there are the dimensions for that tag. Notice that the alt attribute is empty, so we'll go ahead and fill in a description. Padlock with a sealed for your protection liner. Didn't have to capitalize that. Just a short description of the image for the alt attribute, and then we also want to include the title attribute in the image link. So this is not in the image tag, it's in the image link, which is just before the image tag. Title equals quotation. You didn't have to do that for the alt attribute because it was already set up. It was just empty and just waiting to be filled out. But we do want to include a title attribute in the hyperlink. So title equals, and then inside the quotation marks we should put something like search for liners at container and packaging supply. Remember, no special characters in that, but driving users to our website using those keywords, container and packaging supply, all in sequence, creates a really powerful tool for driving people to our site. We can preview that, and the hover state brings up a message. So search for liners at container and packaging supply. Hover state, search for metal lids. Alright, we're done with those things. We did three different things. We created links from the images that are already existing in the post, or whenever we create images in the post, we want to make sure that they are links leading to the container and packaging supply.com. We also we gave a value to the alt attribute in the image tag that described the image, and then the third thing that we did was created a title attribute in the hyperlink reference that points us back to the container and packaging supply website. And that title is just an opportunity to put in some keywords and to give the user an idea of what that image is all about. So we could publish the post. And that's it. That's a wrap.